Hey friends, welcome to Lesson 8 of my Drumset Fundamentals course. I'm Vince from TheProDrummer.com. In this lesson, we're going to learn some more eighth note grooves. Specifically, we're going to take some of these strong bass drum beats that we had on beat 1 and 3, and we're going to play around with that. We're going to manipulate the time a little bit. We're going to move that bass drum that's on beat 3 around to come up with some really fun and interesting results. And then we're going to work on a PDF, a single measure fill PDF, where we're going to talk about playing both 8th notes and 16th notes in the same fill and making sure our time is nice, making sure we're flowing evenly, making sure everything sounds pretty good. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Vince at TheProDrummer.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. That helps me out more than you can possibly imagine. And if you have any questions or would like to study with me, you can reach out to me on Instagram at TheProDrummer or on my website, www.TheProDrummer.com. Let's get into the lesson. Let's get into it, guys. Some more eighth note grooves. Again, if you go to my website, www.TheProDrummer.com, click under Student Resources, and you'll be able to find all of these PDFs for free. Download them, please. So this one is going to be the eighth note grooves packet. Now that you know how to read music, it's going to be a little bit more helpful for you to see the groove and then play it. Okay, so definitely go online there and check it out. Okay, so the last groove we left off with was groove number 9. Let's go to groove number 10, 11, 12. Okay, we're going to go run through these pretty quick. What you need to know for these, before, all of these grooves were based on groove number 1, bass drum on 1 and 3. And we were adding bass drums. We're doing the same thing with number 10, 11, and 12, but we're adding it to the second half of the bar. For example, with number 10, we're putting a bass drum on the and of 4. It'll sound like this. I'll count it for you and play it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. And 1. Make sure you're counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? Let's go to the next one, number 10. Same idea. Let's just look at number 9. Or I'm sorry, no, that was number 10. Let's go to number 11. Let's look at number 10. We're just adding another bass drum on the and of 3. So now the bass drum pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and here we go. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Next one, number 12, same thing. We're just adding one bass drum on the and of 1 now. So we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Sounds like this. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Okay, cool. I left out one of the bass drums. Bonus points if you can comment below and let me know which bass drum I accidentally left out, but I just kept going with it. Okay, now what I'm going to do, as I have suggested in the past, I'm going to play those 3 grooves, number 11, 12, or I'm sorry, number 10, 11, and 12 without stopping, but I'm going to put a fill in between them. If you can move from one to the next without stopping, without messing up, with fills in between, that's a good indication that you have them down pretty solidly. If you struggle with that, then spend some more time on them individually and transitioning from one to the next. So I'll play each a few times, I'll play a fill, and then I'll move on to the next one. I'm just going to stick on the hi-hat for right now. So here we go again, starting with number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there I played him a little longer. Instead of doing a 4-measure phrase for each 3 bars of a groove and 1 bar of a fill, I did an 8-measure phrase, 7 bars of a groove and 1 measure of a fill. Also very useful, also comes up in songs a lot. If you have any questions about it, go to the video entitled Groove Templates. That will help. Everything I'm doing falls into a groove template. All right, so that was groove numbers 10, 11, and 12. I'd just like to take a quick minute to thank you for watching this videos and some of the other videos that I've put out. If you find this content useful, helpful, or informational, please subscribe to this channel and share it with a friend. That helps me more than you could know. Seeing as how this is basically a brand new channel, I'm just starting to put up educational content. The more you like, the more you subscribe, and the more you comment down below, the more that will help me. Thank you so much. And as always, if you need any one-on-one instruction, feel free to reach out. Let's get back to the video. Now to groove 13, which is going to feel and sound quite a bit different than the other ones. Let's explain why. So all of the other ones had something besides the hi-hat on every beat. Bass drum was always on beat 1 and always on beat 3. Snare drum was always on beat 2 and always on beat 4. Snare drum is going to remain the same. It's going to stay on beat 2 and 4 for number 13 and the next few in the packet. And the 8th note's going to remain the same on the hi-hat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. What's going to change now is instead of the bass drum always being on 1 and always being on 3, it's going to stay on 1, but instead of being on beat 3, we're going to shift the bass drum 1/8 note over to the and of 3. This is going to do a couple things. It's going to be your first groove where we don't have a constant bass, snare, 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern happening. This is different than that. Because of that, it's going to feel like time is stretched out a little bit. So there's going to feel like it's going to be a lot of room between beat 2 and the next bass drum, the and of 3. All right? Make sure you're counting so you don't add any extra beats, so you don't take any away. This is one that it's really, really important to count aloud for. Because that bass drum is going to be shifted to the and of 3, not on beat 3, it's going to have a little bit of a syncopated feel, meaning the strong beat that you normally feel on 3 is going to be felt on the and of 3, okay? It's going to add some funk to it. This is where we get into some really cool sounding grooves, and we can manipulate time a little bit. It may sound as if it's slowing down or speeding up in different places, even though the time is not changing. That 8th note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, is remaining constant. So let me play it for you, then we'll break it down a little further, okay? So again, bass drum on 1, snare drum on 2, bass drum on the and of 3, and then snare drum on 4. The space between the and of 3 and 4 is going to feel really quick because it's going to be bass snare, okay? This is what it sounds like. I'll play it slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's play it a little faster. Make sure you're counting along. 1, 2, 3, 4. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Same thing with some fills. I'll play it from the hi-hat to the ride so you could hear it. 1, 2. Did you hear how that felt a little bit more funky than the other grooves we were playing? like I said, all the other grooves have this in common. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whether we add notes or take away, that was always the same. Now we're manipulating that. We're playing with it. We're taking those rules that we had and breaking them. Make sure you're counting. Make sure everything's landing where it should. Gives it a funky feel. It's a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun, and a little bit more appropriate for certain songs and grooves and things like that, which we'll talk more in the future. All right, the next few play with this idea. So that was number 13. Number 14 follows the same idea, bass drum on 1, and then we're moving the bass drum that normally is on 3 to the and of 3, but we're adding a bass drum on the and of 1. So it's going to sound very similar to 13, but with one extra bass drum. So this is what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. One and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's play that with a fill. 1, 2. Stay relaxed. Make sure you're counting. Let's move on to the next one now. If we look at number 4, that was 14, so number 15. We're playing with it again. We're taking the bass drum that would be on beat 3, but instead of moving it to the and of 3, we're anticipating it and moving it to the and of 2. So there's still going to be that empty space where it's just hi-hat on beat 3, but now instead of this groove feeling like it's a little more laid back, it's going to feel like it's a little more on top. It's going to have a little bit more momentum to it because we're moving that bass drum that was on 3 to the and of 2 earlier. It'll sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice that it may feel like there's a little extra space after, in the second half of the bar, after that second bass drum. Because for both 3 and the and of 3, it's just hi-hat, okay? This is what it sounds like a little faster. I'll play it on the ride now just so you can kind of hear it. I'll play around with some fills. 1, 2. Hopefully you can hear how dramatically it changes the groove if we're just moving one bass drum that's on a strong beat to one of the weaker beats, to an and. So practice that. Practice the grooves number 10, 11, and 12, but when you get to 13, take some extra time, 13, 14, 15, 16, the next few, play around with this idea, okay? So we went all the way up to groove 15. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's move on. All right. Let's start getting a little bit more creative with fills. If you go again to my website, TheProDrummer.com, student resources, there will be a PDF that you can download for free that says single measure fill rhythms. That's what we're going to be working on right now. So far, all of the fills we've played, regardless of whether we've moved them around the drums or not, have been 8th notes and 16th notes. 8th notes being 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you look down below right there, boop, 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 boop. That first one right there, that's eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On this PDF, every rhythm is written in the snare drum line where snare drum would be, but that doesn't mean just play it on the snare drum. That means you can take that rhythm and move it around anywhere. So let me just play that eighth note rhythm in a few different places. I'll keep quarters on the hi-hat so you could hear where 1, 2, 3, and 4 is. 1, 2, 3, snare drum. 1, 2, maybe around the toms. Again, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. All of those you could play as fills. Same thing with number 2. Now, if you look over here, this is hard to point backwards, you'll see that it's just 16th notes, which we've done. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Again, we can move that around the drums. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Obviously, we could play those all with grooves as fills. But now, let's move a little bit further down in the packet. We'll look at number 3, and you'll notice that we're now combining, I'll make it a little bit bigger for you guys, we're combining 16th notes and 8th notes. So now beat 1 is going to be 16th notes, 1E and a. Beat 2, 3, and 4 will be 8th notes, 2 and 3 and 4 and. It'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm going to repeat that a few times for you. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. So let's take the idea of the very first fill we did. Beat 1 on the snare drum, beat 2 on the high tom, beat 3 on the middle tom, beat 4 on the floor tom. So I'm going to play this rhythm, 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and, but anything that falls on beat 1 will fall on the snare drum, anything on beat 2 will fall on the high tom, anything on beat 3 will fall on the middle tom, and then beat 4 will be the floor tom. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's hear that as a fill with the groove. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can move it around in different ways, too. Let me just play that same rhythm. I'll play it a few times, just the fill, but I'm going to play it around the drums a little bit differently. But focus on 1E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's happening the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Some of those are pretty cool. Some will sound better than others, but experiment. Take these and move them around the drums. Let's go to the next one. Now, same idea, but now on beat 2. Beat 2, we're playing the 16th notes. So it's 1 and 2E and a 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2E and a 3 and 4 and. Let's hear that as a fill. I'll play it just on the snare drum so you could hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. One and 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. Moved it around for you at the end. So take this idea. I'm going to shrink this down so you could see there's going to be 4 fills here. These 4 that deal with the same concept. If you look, so the first one that you're seeing, which is actually number 3, is 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. The next one, which we just did, 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. The next one, 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 and. And the next one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. Okay, let me play those all back to back. I'll play one measure of groove, then the first one. One measure of groove, the second, one measure of groove, the third, one measure of groove, the fourth, so you could hear what that sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. One more time, no counting. One more time around the drums. That's a great way to practice them, keeping beats 1, 2, 3, and 4 consistent, because then you'll really internalize, okay, where do those 16th notes go? On the snare drum, the high tom, middle tom, or the floor tom, all right? So work with those. Again, the packet is available at my website. It's single measure fill rhythms. It'll say it at the top. It'll look like that. If we go down further, just to kind of show you, on these, now we start putting groups of 2 of the 16th notes, basically. So this one, we have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. Always make sure you can count these before you try and play them. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. Next one sounds like this. 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and. Next one. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and. Next one. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. So work on these. I'd like you to work on fills number 1 through 10. Yeah, 1 through 10. So that's up to that one. Once you're comfortable with them, move them around the drums and then improvise where you're moving them around the drums. Let's take one of them. I'll take this one right here, which is number 7. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 and. Same thing. I'm just going to start on the snare drum, and then I'm going to move it around the drums just so you could hear some of the possibilities. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can hear we start to get some pretty cool ideas coming out. Again, some you'll like. I don't want to say some will be better or sound better than others, but you'll find favorites. You'll find ones that work better for you than others. Again, all these were played with not really many accents. There was a little bit of accents going on, but for the most part, they were pretty even. At first, that's how I want you to try it. Nice and even. Every note. The same. Then if you want to add some accents in, you can. but don't sacrifice cleanliness and don't sacrifice. I'm losing my mind because I'm losing the word. Don't sacrifice consistency or accuracy. There we go. Those are the words. Long Monday. Don't sacrifice consistency or accuracy for accents or for speed. I want you to play them at different tempos, slow, medium, fast. But if you find you're doing this and they're not even, back it up a little bit. Make sure they're nice and even. Okay? We don't want to get it all janky. We want it nice and even, okay? Then move them around, like I said, move them around the drums. If you have any questions, let me know, but take these, work on them slowly, make sure you can count them out loud first, and then put them in with grooves. You could put these in with any grooves. You could put them in with a 16th note groove. They're going to feel a little slower when you play them with the 16th note groove, but that's totally fine. All right, so we got some cool stuff accomplished. We got some new 8th note grooves, some new fills combining 8th notes and 16th notes. Let's wrap it up. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that lesson. Now you've got even more 8th note grooves to play with, especially starting with number 13. Where we're going to move that bass drum from 3 either to the and of 2 or the and of 3. Play around with it, take it slow, make sure you're counting aloud. Don't lose that time. Make sure you're not adding extra beats, taking beats away. Make sure that time, that quarter note pulse remains consistent. Then when you're comfortable with that, try and throw in some of those new fills. So we've got quarter notes and we've got 8th notes and 16th notes next to each other in those fills. Go slow with them, count, play them around the drums, play them around the toms, move them around, never losing that sense of solid time. That is paramount, keeping that quarter note pulse. Don't forget it. If you have any questions or you'd like some clarification on this, please drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you want me to just shut up and go away? That's fine too. I don't care. Just write it down. Either way, leave a comment. Please like this video if you found it useful, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can be alerted when new videos come out. Again, I'm Vince from TheProDrummer.com. You can reach out to me if you'd like some individualized one-on-one instruction over Zoom. I do teach online lessons. Vince at TheProDrummer.com, or find me on Instagram. Hit me up at TheProDrummer. All right, until next time, make some noise, have some fun, play some freaking drums. Talk to you soon.